Dear students and friends, today we are gonna study about the distributive pronoun for correct the following sentences. So बहुत ज़्यादा ट्रिकी सिचुएशंस होती हैं ये डिस्ट्रीब्यूटिव प्रोनाउंस की जो कॉम्पिटिटिव एग्जाम्स में आती हैं अक्रॉस ऑल द कॉम्पिटिटिव एग्जाम्स related to English language and grammar. So let us practice today, and here we are gonna study here the first example we take, and that one is every one of the two boys, every one of the two boys, every one of the two boys, every one of the two boys gets a prize. Gets a prize. Okay, this is the sentence given and we have to correct it. Okay? So every one of the two boys gets the prize. Now correct it. Guess what would be the correct answer? Is everyone correct here in terms of two boys? No. So guess what would be there? Because we use each for two and more than two. So here everyone is wrong, incorrect. यहाँ पे everyone जो है वो क्या है? इनकरेक्ट है, रॉन्ग है, ठीक है ना। इसकी जगह पे आंसर क्या होगा? करेक्शन होगा। करेक्शन में ईच। अब यहां पे जो सेंटेंस है अब ये राइट होगा, ईच ऑफ द टू बॉयज गेट्स अ प्राइज, ठीक है ना। सो यहां पे हम एवरीवन की जगह क्या यूज करेंगे? ईच यूज करेंगे, क्योंकि ईच जो है वो टू पर्सन्स, प्लेस और ऑब्जेक्ट्स के लिए यूज होता है, पर्सन्स के लिए यूज होता है स्पेसिफिकली, सॉरी, ईच, एवरीवन। तो यहाँ पे ईच जो है वो टू के लिए यूज होगा। ईच ऑफ द टू बॉयज गेट्स अ प्राइज। अब बॉय यहाँ पे गेट्स यूज होगा, सर्टेनली जो लिखा हुआ है राइट है, क्योंकि एवरीवन, वेदर इट इज एवरीवन और ईच, वी यूज सिंगुलर वर्ब, ठीक है ना। अ प्राइज, क्योंकि इंडिविजुअल बात हो रही है, इंडिविजुअली सेपरेटली हो रही है, सो यहाँ पे ये प्राइस जो है वो वन और वन के लिए यूज करते हैं। आर्टिकल ए यहाँ पे प्राइस के रेफरेंस में यूज होगा। लेट अस स्टडी द नेक्स्ट सेंटेंस हियर। द नेक्स्ट वन इज दैट ईच ऑफ द फाइव men, सेकेंड सेंटेंस, वेट, each of the five men, each of the five men received a reward, received, received a reward. Okay. Now guess what would be the correct answer? Is this sentence is an incorrect sentence. Okay. In terms of distributive pronoun, because here we are talking about five men. So is that correct? What would be the answer then? If we talk about more than two, okay, for two we have used each, or more than two also it is used, but here each would not be the right answer, and the answer would be here everyone. So every one of the five men received a reward. So this would be the correct answer, everyone. Rest of the things are okay. But here each is wrong in terms of 5 men, because when we talk about more than 2, 3, 4, 5, we use everyone in that situation. Is that correct? Is that okay? Yes. So here we will use everyone for 5. Each will not be the correct answer. So it is wrong here. Okay. So it is wrong here. And the correct answer is everyone. Okay. Let us proceed. Let us proceed for the further sentences. Okay. The next sentence is any of the two roads, any of the two roads, any of, sorry, it's any of the two roads, any of the two roads leads to the station, to the station. Okay, any of the two road leads to the station. Any of the two road leads to the station. Now what would be this is the example number 3. Any of the two roads leads to the station. Which one would be the correct? It is wrong use of any will not be there. Any will not be there. What would be the answer then? Here in case of, as you have studied, for two objects, for two things, we use either. So here would be either. Any cannot be used here. The answer would be either. 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 So either is the correct answer. Either of the two roads leads to the station. If you write lead here, it would be incorrect with this, because we are talking about one out of the two. So suppose here two roads are there. Okay, here two roads are there. This also goes to the station, and this is going this side. So one who is not sure of this thing, so he will say either of the roads, means this one or this one. So one leads to the station, not both of the road leads. Sorry, because only one leads to the station. Either this one or this one. One. Okay, so either of the two roads leads to the station. So because that's quite clear. Now let us form the example number 4. None of the two guests. 4. None of the two guests. None of the two guests turned up. None of the two guests turned up. Here it is guest. Okay, guests. None of the two guests turned up. So is two guests are there. There are two guests here. Number A, number B. And what is the concept? None is the wrong answer in case of 2. In case of 2, none is the wrong answer. So what would be the right answer then? The right answer would be neither. So neither would be the correct answer for 2. Answer is neither. 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 Got that point? Because we cannot use none for 2 guests. So there are 2 guests, A and B, and these 2, neither this one has come nor this one has come. means turned up. Turned up means came. Okay, turned up means appeared or came or arrived. That is turned up. That's right. So here would be neither, because we are referring to two, and therefore we cannot use none with the two persons, the guests, and the answer would be neither. That's correct. Now, let us move forward with the further example. Okay, this is quite clear and is highly useful for competitive exams. Let us practice number 1. Answer any one of the two. See here, number 5. Answer any one of the two. Is this correct? Answer any one of the two. Suppose two questions are given, number A and B. Okay, so in this situation, one has to be attempted. But here using any for two answer any one of the two. So one of the two, we use one of the two for what? Either. And that is the incorrect. Here, any is the incorrect use. So here the answer would be here, either of the. Either. In place of any, the answer would be either. Got that point? So this is a tricky situation. One who is in impression of this, any one of the two, that is completely wrong and it's a blunder, because we use one of the two. For one of the two, we use either. That's quite clear. Now the number and rest of the things would be all right. Either of the two. Answer either one of the two. So here would be answer either one of the two. Okay, means one of the two. Okay. Next, number 6. None of my two pens writes well. None of my two pens writes well. Okay, none of my two pens writes well. So here, what would be the correct answer? None of my two pens writes well. Well, none of my two pens. So using none here for two would be completely wrong, and here people are just getting distracted. The students, those who are struggling very hard for the competitive English, competitive exams, they suffer a lot. So none of my two pens would be completely wrong. This is completely wrong. Means I have two pens, one and this one, two, A and B. Neither this one is working nor this one is working. Both of them have been rejected. So they are not in use. Therefore, we are using it wrong. And here would be correct answer would be neither of my two pens writes well. Writes is right because we are referring neither this works nor this works individually. ठीक है ना? Means no of the two. दो में से कोई नहीं, ना ये और ना ये, बट इंडिविजुअली बात कर रहे हैं. ना तो ये यूज कर सकते, वहां दो रोड्स के साथ चॉइस थी, पर यहाँ पे हमारे पास कोई भी ऑप्शन नहीं है. ना तो ये यूज में है ना तो ये यूज में है, बट सेपरेटली है. सो देयरफॉर हम लोग यूज करेंगे राइट्स. यहाँ पे एग्जैक्ट आंसर है नन. यहाँ पे नन की जगह क्या यूज करेंगे? नाइदर. Neither. Neither. Got that point? That is the right answer. So let us move further. And here we are gonna practice the next sentence, and that is neither of the four books will do. It is seventh number. Neither of the four books, neither of the four books will do. What does it mean by this sentence? Neither of the four books will do. Means they are not sufficient, these four books. They will not work actually. So here we have used wrong distributive pronoun neither, because neither is used no of the two. But here we are referring to four books. Therefore, neither is the wrong answer. And what would be the correct answer? Guess. What would be the none of? So in place of neither, for more than two, we use this distributive pronoun none. None of the four books will do. This is the correct answer. None of the four, because we use neither for two, and for more than two we use none. So four books are there, A, B, C, D, and this also does not work. This is also not working. This is also not working. This one is also not working, but separately, individually. So therefore, none of the four books will do. So four books is plural, okay? But here we are referring to none. So none, using none will engage singular verb. Okay, but here we have used will. Now let us proceed further. The example number is 8. Example number is 8. And example number 8, the sentence, any of the two men would be able to do this. Ink is not proper. Any of any one of the two men would be able to do this. Any one of the two men, we use men for plural, man singular, and men plural. Okay, so any one of the two men would be able to do this work. Ink is not working. Would be able to do this work. Okay. So is this two men are there? We are using any one of the two. What would be the correct answer then? For two we use, here is it refers to one person out of two. one person, only one person. So here anyone is the wrong, because for the two we use either. Therefore the answer would be either of the two men would be able to do this. Would be able to do this. Would be able to do this. And this one is the right answer. So it is actually, it seems to be very easy, but in practice when you are in the competitive exams, you are appearing for the exams, then mistakes they do happen. So you have to avoid these. That's why this practice is important. And let us practice the 9th number. The boys narrated stories each. And it is very important. 9 number. The boys, 9 number. This is not working. 9 number. The boys narrated stories each. The boys narrated stories each. Okay. So here each has been placed in the wrong place. Okay. And that is the wrong answer. So what would be the correct answer? Each of the boys, answer would be each of the boys narrated stories. Narrated stories. Okay, so each of the boys narrated stories. So using each in the last would be entirely wrong, completely wrong, absolutely wrong. Here it would come in the first. Each of the boys narrated the stories. So that's quite clear now. Here 10, but the number has not been specified. This number has not been specified. So how would you guess what number? It would be 2, actually more than 2, because we are using here each, not either or neither. Yes, of course. Let's move to the 10 number. Example, the students contributed 50 rupees each. The students contributed 50 rupees each. 50 rupees each. Okay, so the students contributed 50 rupees each, and this is completely wrong. So what would be the correct answer? As per this answer you can guess. So here would be each of the students contributed 50 rupees. So each would be replaced from here to the first place, and here would be the answer. Each of the students contributed 50 rupees each. Each of the students contributed 50 rupees. Contributed 50 rupees. Dear students, please do learn. These are very important for competitive exams, And students do commit mistakes while attempting these questions. And in the next video, I'm gonna present the error correction. Error correction is very important. It is also very important now. Error correction in the next video I'm going to present, so that it should be very clear, exact and clear, precise, and apparently it is very useful. So please do share and subscribe this channel, comment, and have a wonderful day. Have a good life.